Hey Legacy community, it's Terramaster, and today we are starting a brand new video replay series of the Yugioh Legacy July Android tournament. And to join me to do this series, once again, who else? It's Lucas Gaylord. What's up, man?
Hello, my friends. Hello. Let's do this.
Alright, we are excited to do something that's not speed duels, so that's going to be something brand new for all you. It's old TCG rules, draw 6. No Master Rule 3, none of those new things. It's Android format, which is 2003. So let's get right into the first top 4 match, which is actually me at the bottom there. That's my dueling book name, Cross Splash, and at the top is Bylot. So let's see how I do in this match. I won the rock, paper, scissors, so I'm going first. I forgot about the draw phase almost immediately because I'm used to playing speed duels, but I did go back and draw, so it's not going to affect the end result. And I did draw...
I think you had a really good start with the Delinquent Duo,
yeah.
So let's see what you discard.
That's the best possible card you could get. I'm going to roll the dice to make it random. Hit a Gemini Elf.
Yeah, I don't think that hurts him too much.
No, it doesn't.
Card advantage.
Yeah, I mean, both cards he literally discarded, he has another copy of.
Yeah.
And I set the Giant Germ, and you'll see this as a theme in the deck I built, which is I put as many floaters as I could think of. So you can see already I have Tomato in my hand as well as Giant Germ. He's going to go ahead and set that Imperial Order he pulls off the top, and going to go ahead and swing into that Giant Germ, which allows me to do burn damage and summon 2 more Giant Germs from my deck. He's ending his turn. I draw for turn. I draw a second Mirror Wall, which isn't really good right now, but let's see what this Tomato Crash does. And let me explain this really fast. As turn player, I am Chain Link 1, because turn player always has priority. And he is Chain Link 2, so he actually has to summon his monster first. Summons another Tomato. I summon another Tomato. Now I'm going to go ahead and do this again. And the reason I'm doing this, if I remember what I was thinking, is that since he has to choose first, I get an advantage of kind of like how to manipulate the rest of the battle phase. So now he's going to finally summon a not Tomato, and I'm going to get the Tomato. See, this is what I was hoping would happen, is that, especially since he had to discard 1 Tomato with Delinquent Duo, I was hoping I would get my 3rd Tomato out and be able to run something over and take control of the board. But he does get to search for that Jinzo. But he is going to take 2,000 damage from those Giant Germs. I'll go ahead and set the second Mirror Wall because why not? And this is probably the first time in my life I've played my field this way, where I am putting everything in different zones. I think I just forgot to turn off choose zones. And I've seen other people, like real TCG players, do that, so I was just having fun. And here the Mirror Wall does come in handy, as I do damage step activated. And hey, I have a question for you actually, because I've noticed in like a really old Game Boy game I played with Mirror Wall, that if you activate it in the damage step, it doesn't actually work, but I think that game had the ruling wrong, right?
It could be because if I remember correctly, I also remember that Mirror Wall was not optional to pay. So I think most of the old video games had the rulings wrong. Okay. But yeah, for now, just to be safe, we go with the current Mirror Wall rulings.
Okay, yeah. Just wanted to see I didn't do anything wrong here. So he's losing 50 life points, not 950. And the Gemini Elf is dead. And I have a really good position here. I'm not going to pay for Mirror Wall because I don't need to. Especially since I have another one. And Painful Choice, he's not going to let that go through. But I think I have a lot of damage here. It's not enough to win the game though. However, because it's Cannon Soldier, it is enough in main phase 2. So Cannon Soldier helps me win game 1. And for those of you that don't know Cannon Soldiers and I didn't put my mouse on it, is during your main phase you contribute 1 monster to deal 500 burn damage to your opponent. So he only survived with 350 and I was able to win there.
Yeah, it's not once per turn.
Yeah, it's not once per turn either. So That's where you can get a lot of like big damage in, and that's where kind of like I put it into a deck with a lot of floaters, so that if they have low life points, like even if they have like 1500, there are situations where, because my monsters all summon other monsters when they're killed in battle, I can just go ahead and cannon soldier for game.
Yeah, and you can search cannon soldier with tomatoes or Sangan or witch, which is pretty cool.
Yeah, exactly. It's only a one of, because it's not a good card in a lot of situations. It's just 1400. So it's very weak.
Oh, another Imperial Order.
Yeah, so nice. He's drawn Imperial Order twice, but I did draw Hand Destruction on my first turn twice, so that's he actually was able to stop this one. I did get Giant Germ again, so that feels a little familiar. And I put a Painful Choice face down there just as a bluff. He's going to pay for that Imperial Order. And the issue is with my hand, Imperial Order might actually win in the game. But again, my advantage in this deck is that I don't run out of monsters very much. And another thing that combos with the floaters is what I'm probably going to summon right here. Yep, which is Bazoo. So the more my monsters that die, the more fuel I give it.
Oh, and I want to clear up for the watchers. There's we found out after the tournament that Bazoo, at this time, it could banish spell and traps as well. So Bazoo, Geico or Gigo, the Ghost Destroyer, and Skullair, they had a pre-errata where they could banish any card and not just monsters. But for this tournament, we did not realize, so we played it with the current errata. However, if you notice, Imperial Order, it still pays only during the player's standby phase. So we did play with the correct errata back then, but not with Bazoo or Kaiko.
Yeah, we played with the correct errata for Imperial Order and Sinister Serpent are the two main cards that you're going to see.
Yeah, and Sangan and Witch of the Black Forest.
Right. Okay, so because we're going with the new Bazoo errata, I only banished my two monsters, and I made it 2200, which is enough to run over that Gemini Elf. It does. And I'm going to put my Giant Germ into defense, set that Mirror Force face down. And speaking of Mirror Force, he just drew one of his own. He's going to go ahead and pay for the Imperial Order again, choosing not to activate his Pot of Greed. He thinks he can win without his spell cards. Okay, he's going to go defensive here as well, choosing not to kill the Giant Germ and not to keep that tomato in attack mode. Here's a Sinister Serpent, so this is going to be the correct pre-errata, which is it comes back to your hand every turn, and there's no graveyard banish. I will go ahead and take out that face down because I didn't want him to float, but he does get to search for Jinzo. So I'm thinking at the very least this will get rid of his Imperial Order if he does want to summon Jinzo, and that looks like what he's going to do. But he's not going to tribute his tomato, he's going to tribute my face down monster, which I did go ahead and set that Sinister Serpent. So I feel happy about my decision to not go ahead and overcommit to the board here, or else he would have probably tributed my tomato. And he activates his own Painful Choice, which he can now. And I think I'm going to just go ahead and give him Sinister Serpent here as I quickly show you what he's going to send to his graveyard. Here's Jinzo. Now he activates Pot of Greed as well, since his Imperial Order is gone. Now he gets to be aggressive since he doesn't have to care about what my trap cards are. And that indeed hurts me a lot since I did have a Mirror Force face down.
I think I wouldn't... I would send the Summon Skull with Painful Choice, because if you have Jinzo, I don't think you want to draw another tribute. And I think he could have kept... because Magician of Faith called the Haunted, Forceful Sentry, Nobleman of Crossout, they were all good cards. So I don't know if I would do that play. I think I would send at least the Summon Skull to the graveyard.
Yeah, you only need one tribute, especially when you have, like, I think he still has Monster Reborn in his deck. Yeah, exactly. And then he could have not picked Call the Hunted, so he could have two Reborn cards in his deck if he didn't do that.
Yeah.
But it's almost like he knew my hand, because if he would have picked Summon Skull, I could have just used Monster Reborn on it right here.
Yeah, true.
So it actually ended up helping him. But hey, just like you said, I'm sending Summon Skull and Jinzo and an equip card and a floater and another equip card. So what I did there is I picked cards that can help me out, but also cards that aren't necessarily like very good cards or staples. And he's going to give me United We Stand. And like I said, that is a card that can help me out, especially since he has Jinzo on the field. It can allow something like a Bazoo to easily get over Jinzo or even Gemini Elf. I would like to read Graceful Charity, discard the Sinister Serpent, and also Who Needs Two Tomatoes. I'm going to go ahead and use Confiscation to take Fisher. And he's supposed to send it to his graveyard, but I think he thought that was Forceful Sentry. He's going to go ahead and send it. There we go. I'm using Monster Reborn to do a Jinzo versus Jinzo, and this is where the United We Stand is big. It makes a really big Jinzo. 4,000 attack points Jinzo. And that Jinzo is going to go ahead and kill that other Jinzo, but only after I kill the tomatoes first, because I don't want him to be able to use the trap when the tomato attacks.
Yeah, I think I would have given you the Giant Rat. I don't think giving you the equip was a good idea, because he will lose Jinzo.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, you probably would lose Jinzo and your opponent has United We Stand in this format, unless it's like only a tomato with United We Stand. So, and one thing I will say is that I don't know how much he like looked into all the Earth monsters, but Giant Rat is only there to summon Nimble Momonga from my deck, so that's not particularly like dangerous. It's not going to turn the game around.
Yeah.
And here's a little spice. He has Exchange in his hand right now. He's not going to play it because I only have one card, and he might think that whatever one card I kept in my hand after playing all that is probably not very good. So he's going to go ahead and Suicide here to get rid of my Cannon Soldier and also float into a Sengen. Oh, he does play Exchange, but he does in main phase 2, and he did not want me to take Gemini Elf. He's going to force me to take either Summon Skull or Serpent. I go ahead and choose Serpent, only because this way he cannot use it for a discard card anymore. And I've essentially like turned off the Serpent loop, so... But now I have to always keep in mind that he has Mirror Wall, so if Jinzo is ever removed, I'm going to kind of be like scared to attack here. And I drew my Sinister Serpent as well, and this got really confusing because I don't know which one is mine and which one is his. So that might come into play later, but for now I'm going to go ahead and take out that Sengen and do a big damage of 2200 because my United We Stand is still powering it up. He's going to grab a Morphing Jar as he thinks he needs a new hand. He's going to not activate that Confiscation, just picked up and instead just set a monster and a couple back row and pass. I draw Ceasefire, which I'm thinking, hey, if he gets rid of my Jinzo, he only has 1,000 life points. I'm thinking I'm in a really good position, right? And here's where I had to ask him if he can tell me which Sinister Serpent is mine and which is his. And he can tell, I think, because of the card back. It will still show him. I'm not sure. But he did tell me. So I did go ahead and set mine. I wanted to keep his in my hand. And I will go ahead and attack with the Jinzo here. And actually, I set his. Oops, sorry. Because I knew that was Morphing Jar. Right. Okay, so we're both going to draw a brand new hand. And he's running a second copy of Exchange, actually. That is really spicy. Like, at most, I would run one copy. Here's a Pot of Greed from me. A full hand, a full field, and I'm just going to pass turn over. He's going to play Graceful Charity. Now, I know, like, it's almost guaranteed that with him having this many cards, that he's going to be able to remove the Jinzo here. And as you can see, did he just draw a third Exchange? He just drew a third Exchange. He's running 3.
Yeah.
He's running 3 Exchange. That's so spicy. Let's see if those other exchanges help him out. As he's going to Raigeki off my Jinzo and his own Sinister Serpent. He's going to Premature Burial to summon his own Jinzo. I have nothing that can block it since there are no hand traps in this format. He's going to go full power Bazoo and the Gemini Elf, and I'm pretty sure that is a good game. So the exchanges didn't help, but he didn't need it. The Morphing Jar gave him everything he needed in order to win this game.
Yeah, and I want to clarify that we're seeing Graceful Charity We're actually playing May 2002, so that means that we're playing because there's a couple of Android formats. So this one specific was May 2002, where Race for Charity is legal, but it's at two semi-limited.
Yeah, and another thing I want to point out is for this tournament, I did also go ahead and we did allow cards from Starter Deck Joey and Starter Deck Pegasus to be legal as well. So this is like not the Android format you may always see, but it's just basically if we're playing at the end of the month of May 2003. Here's a confiscation. I open with the hand destruction card for the third game in a row. Take out that Cyber Jar. I opened with another floater, which is Nimble Momonga, so I go ahead and choose to set that this time. Let's see if he goes ahead and attacks into it. He will also open hand destruction, and he will take my Magician of Fate, so I can't recycle my confiscation. Very good. He will also set, so see this time I'm thinking he might play around the floaters since he's already seen them in 2 games now. Here's a Harpy's Feather Duster to get rid of that premature burial. So I'm saying if he's not going to attack, I might as well be the one who's aggressive. So I'm going to take out that tomato. He will summon a witch. Can't attack that. I think I just misclicked here, so let's just go on. Turn ends. He's going to tribute his witch to summon Jinzo. That's a very good play since he gets to plus off that Witch of the Black Forest. Jinzo will kill Nimble Momonga, doing damage, but I gained the 1,000 life points back and summon 2 Momongas from my deck. This is the big advantage his deck has, is that as long as he's destroyed my monsters by battle, I'm going to keep getting them back. And I do top deck into that Fisher, and that's going to take out the Jinzo and immediately give me full control of the field as well as do a big 4,500 total damage. He's going to draw into Magic Cylinder. It's a very strong burn card, especially against things like Gemini Elf. Unfortunately, when he attacks with the tomato, I have Mirror Force, and that's it. My board is too strong. 1 Magic Cylinder is not good enough to stop it. So I have to say, I got pretty lucky top decking that Fisher, because if I would have drawn one of my floaters or one of my things like Mystical Space Typhoon or something like that, Jinzo could have dominated that game, especially if I would have drawn traps for a long time. So that's just Yu-Gi-Oh! RNG for you. As always, I had plenty of time to stall with my floaters. So I think I had this game just because of the early on field advantage I got. Anything you want to add?
I think I agree with. I think I agree with that, because it doesn't matter. Like he still has Jinzo, but you still have the Momongas, the giant rats. So I think that would have given you time to draw into Fisher, Regeki, Dark Hole, or Snatch Theo or something. So I think the Recruiters was a very good deck option. So yeah, I think I just think that drawing early into the Momongas was pretty good.
Yeah, I mean, if you notice, all 3 games I either started with a Giant Germ or a Momonga, so that's a very good first turn.
Yep.
Yeah, so if you remember playing back then, setting one of those cards was always a good turn 1 play, along with the tomato or something like a giant rat, because then if they decide to summon one of their beaters and be aggressive, then you don't lose your monster, you just kind of get more.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, and because of that, if you notice, my deck was 48. So because I had so many monsters, I didn't want to take out any staples. So I just went ahead and made the deck bigger than the standard, like 40 or 42. And it turned out it didn't hurt me that much because of the floaters. I do thin a lot from the deck.
Yeah, and I think the equips were very, very spicy. I think they were very helpful, because I also remember in the early rounds where the equips gave you the win against me. So I think they were a very good idea, especially because the floaters are weak.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that's one weakness of the floaters, is that if I don't have an answer to the beaters that they have, whether that's Jinzo or Gemini Elf or Summon Skull, I need something to help, and that's where things like you saw Mirror Wall helped me in game 1, and so did United We Stand. So I just thought
Yeah.
about how to either increase my attack points or decrease theirs.
Yeah.
All right, so that's it for the first top 4 match of this tournament. And next time we will see in the next top 4 match who am I going to go against in the finals. That's all we have to say. Terramaster, Lucas Gaylord out.